Right now, like other businesses having to put in place measures to ensure compliance with regulations, Dickson Lehare had to make such temperatures were taken and screening questionnaires were filled in. But he found the process on paper rather risky and feared that the information could be manipulated, lost, or even worse, go unreported. 4GIS is using integrated digital technology with government, coordinated containment and mitigation processes, including surveillance and contact tracing, which can be associated with the early flattening of incidence curves. CDT COVID-19 Digital Trace enhances the ability to detect and monitor the rate of infection, creating a paperless process and capturing data in real time so the risk of exposure is decreased. Now we're joined by fourth generation imaginary solutions founder Dickson Lehare to chat a little bit more about this new innovation. Dickson, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Newsroom Africa. I mean, just looking at the need for innovation and technology during these unprecedented times. I mean, through your offering as the founder of 4GIS, how have you come to solve a problem for many? How has this become a benefit for the current standings we find ourselves in?
First, I'd like to say good morning and good morning to the viewers. Thank you for this opportunity. So before I just explain how the app works, I'd just like to take you through some bit of background on 4GIS. So 4GIS is a solution-oriented IoT company that provides data analysis and business automation. So just to give you an explanation of what IoT is, it's basically the use of software to connect and transfer data between different devices. So when the pandemic hit South Africa and essential companies were allowed to operate, we realized that there's a response. The response was very manual, as you said previously. So basically, that means there was a paper-based process that was followed. And the risky part about the paper-based solution is that the data can be lost and incorrectly reported. So we took the same methodology and we repurposed it so that we could digitize and automate the whole process. So how a solution works is that an individual gets the temperature read by a hardware. This could be through a handheld device that many companies have actually already invested in, or one of our 4GIS embedded cameras. Once an individual's temperature is read, a push notification gets sent to them via SMS, where they will be prompted to complete an online questionnaire. The temperature reading and the questionnaire gets consolidated into a database, and we generate an analytical report to notify the champion in real time of any COVID incidences that may happen. So all these incidents, as I said, they happen in real time so that the champion can actually take any precautions and actions in real time. And furthermore, through contact tracing, we are able to track and trace the process of screening individuals to let you know of any progress that's been happening and so forth.
The immediate question about some of the concerns around data safety, the protection of data and confidentiality also arises. How have you managed to mitigate against and safeguard against such?
So regarding data, so we don't have it. There's no concerns regarding the data on our side. So in regards to that, the protection of our data, we use industry standards in protecting data in our servers and in our data warehouses. So basically that means that there's an end-to-end encryption. So an end-to-end encryption, for me to put it in simple terms, is when we collect the data and making sure that the app is protected. When the data is in transit, so meaning when we send when an individual submits the data to us, we make sure that that pipeline is also protected. Then the data in rest, when we store the data, that data is protected and encrypted. So encryption in basic terms is also, so for example, it would be when someone's cell phone number, for example, you'd see the first few letters, the first few numbers, and then the rest would be asterisks. So if ever, for some odd reason, if someone had to hack into our servers or databases, they would find unusable data.
All right, I'm just looking at once the data has been compiled and also it's, transferred to its various other parties along the value chain. I mean, what happens to this data? And in terms of its effectiveness, I mean, who all has come on board to use it? How effective has that been?
So currently we're sharing the data with companies that have signed up with our application, so they can actually take real-time precautions with the findings. But we want to eventually get to a point where we can actually integrate with the Department of Health so that we can actually supply them with this valuable information so that we can actually prevent a second wave from occurring. You know what I mean?
And just in conclusion, Dickson, I mean, now that this is under your umbrella as founder of 4GIS, what other avenues have you managed to explore? Will you be exploring on the back of this offering?
So we received a positive response since the launch of our application. I wouldn't be able to share the exact numbers of how many people we've actually reached and so forth, but we have implemented our solution in a few restaurants, in a few private schools, in some stores, some clothing stores, and some corporate companies. And each of our clients have mentioned that through the use of our application, they're able to have a better understanding and the control of this COVID situation.